with another round of the footy. Round 8 is here, and it looks like there's going to be a few really, really good matchups. We've got the derby in Adelaide. We've got Carlton Collingwood is a classic as always. Battle of the Bridge, as Ed likes to call it. Sydney and GWS should be good as well. Geelong and the D's, Bombers and the Eagles, Brisbane and the Gold Coast. So there are clashes and rivalries all over the place this weekend. Should be a really interesting weekend of footy. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're joining us. If you're enjoying the content, please like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And you can follow us on Apple and Spotify. Leave a review. And of course, we've got Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Last week was interesting to say the least. We did fall short on that one parlay that we had on the Richmond D's Anzac Eve game. That was such a bummer. And then Collingwood Bombers was a little bit brutal to us, but that's okay. We will bounce back this weekend. We've got some really good ideas and some really good options to have a look at. As always, never bet more than you can afford to lose. Help us out there if you need as well.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
We will start in Adelaide, where Crows are taking on Port Adelaide. This should be a great matchup of the two Adelaide teams. Port Adelaide is favoured -7.5, and the over-under is 174.5. And I know that these two teams always play each other hard. I believe of the last 5, Port Adelaide have won 3 of the last 5, and Crows have got 2 of them. And they're sort of like 1 for 1, even though the Crows have dropped off a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how this matchup goes. We'll start with Adelaide, where we're looking at if we're looking at 20 plus disposals, best bet to look at this stage would be someone like Jake Saligo has been getting over that threshold that we need the last 5 weeks. 23, 31, 27, 27, and 21. Looks pretty good. I guess the one thing to keep in mind as well, Rory Laird retired over the week just gone by. So that's going to make it interesting. I'm interested to see how Jake Saligo steps up in his place, because he has gone off and even the other one is Lockie Shaw as well, had 29 touches last week as well, but 9 the week before that. So he's extremely volatile. But does he step into that Rory-led role? That's going to be really interesting to look at. So did we just get a glimpse of it last weekend? We'll see. Another good one, Marc has been playing well in defence. He did have a down week of the 14 last week, but if you can get him 15 plus touches, that's not a bad option as well. And then for anytime goal scorers, there's a couple of options here. So Josh Rochelle is good value for where he's ranked. Isaac Rankin is not great value, but he is more likely to kick a goal, and he has been doing really, really well over the last couple of weeks. Taylor Walker, well, you can't really get much on him, and I wouldn't push the multiple goals either with him. He has had many weeks this year of just kicking the one, so hard to say. If you need a long shot, though, Matt Crouch is a very, very long shot. I think he's sitting around $2.50 or $3 to kick a goal. Same with Mitchell Hinge as well. You could also maybe take a crack at someone in defense, but we probably don't look at those long shot bets too much. The way that I would want to attack this game is through Port Adelaide. I believe that they're the favorite. Well, they are the favorite, but I also think that they're probably going to win this game. So I prefer to stick on them for now. So the way I've got Jason Horne-Francis 20 plus touches, which he has achieved since he's been back most weeks. He's had 31, 16, 24, and 20. And I fully expect his mark to be around there. Now, did I see, is it Connor Rozee or Ollie Wines? One of them, I think, had a wrist injury of some sort as well. So that should also boost Jason Horne-Francis's stats as well. But also, I know that he really likes to step up in these really, really big games. So that's where I like to look. Willem Drew did return to form. We'd sort of cut him from the list after starting off the season awesome. He had 23 touches last week, so he stepped up as well. And Kane Farrell still came through with the 20-plus touches last week as well. Chase Burgoyne is the other one to look out for. 27 touches last week, 21 before that, 21 before that, 10, 6, 13. So they have really eased him in because he often started the season as the medical sub, And now he's really starting to get a lot of run around, and he's getting a lot of the ball as well. So that's really exciting to see. You've got your old favourites. You've got Zach Butters. You've got Connor Rozee as well if you need. But those are the ways I'm going to look in this matchup. For anytime goal scorers for Port Adelaide, there's not a lot because they funnel most of their goals through just a couple of players, and you can't get too much value on them. It's like Todd Marshall and Charlie Dixon. They're around $1.15. It's just really not even worth it. Connor Rozee's $1.55, but that's actually not really worth it considering where he's at. He's had 7 goals, 15 shots at goal, and 54 score involvements through the season. But I just don't really prefer that hit rate for that value you're getting. The one that I did really like was Darcy Byrne-Jones, who is less great value, but at $1.35, he's had 10 goals and 18 shots a goal. So he is getting enough of the ball, and he's playing that forward role as well that we like to see. So that's the direction that I would look for that one. We'll cross now to the Blues and the Pies. This is going to be an instant classic. I feel Pies are a little bit in form, and Blues will want a win after that loss last week against the Cats. Go Cats. We'll start with the Blues. Sam Walsh, 31 touches last week, 35 before that, and 34 before that. He seems to be a decent lock for 30-plus touches, and I know it's a lot, and I don't always like to play it, but he's playing very, very well. We know that Chera has been out for a while now. He should be back soon, so maybe that'll drop back a bit once he's back. But in the meantime, I like looking that way. Patrick Cripps playing well, 29 touches last week, 39 before that, and 22 as well. And Matthew Kennedy, 21 touches last week as well. But there is a guy who is stepping up in a big way that I've really enjoyed seeing, and it's Blake Acres, of all people, believe it or not. 28 touches last week, 24 before that, and 25 before that. And you can get him at a decent price as well for 20-plus touches still. So we throw that one in there. I really, really like that one. As far as goal scorers go for the Blues, we're looking, they're a tricky team as well, similar to Adelaide, because they funnel goals through Charlie Curnow and Harry Mackay. But if you want, Tom de Koning has sort of been there. He's got 4 goals and 12 shots at goal. So he's really not converting for all these shots that he's taking. He started in the backfield at the start of the season, and they've moved him to ruck. He's sort of that ruck 2 option behind Marc Pittonet, and they've been playing him forward as well if they need. So he's only $1.40 though. I don't really, really like that value. You can get Cottrell for $1.60. You can also get Kennedy for $1.80 as well. Owies is $1.45 as well. He's had 8 goals and 16 shots a goal. But the one that I really, really like, and he's losing value now, he's only at $1.50, but Elijah Hollands. I really like him as a prospect. He's come over from the Giants. He's had 6 goals and 9 shots a goal from 27 score involvements. So he's getting a lot of the ball. He's playing forward, and he's converting on his shots a goal as well. So I would almost want to put Elijah Hollands in if I'm going to look in any direction. But the one that I'm actually more focused on, because I believe he's better value and I believe he gets the ball a bit more, and I think this is going to be a really competitive game, is on the Pies side of the ball. And I'm going with Lockie Schultz. And Lockie Schultz is he's sort of only $1.35, but he's had 8 goals and 19 shots at goal. So he's a 50-50 in front of goal, but he does crumb the ball if he needs to as well from a pack. He can kick from the sides, from the boundaries as well. He's had 35 score involvements as well. So I think the model really likes him to bounce back in a big way and step up and start scoring some goals there. The other one, we'll look at... Well, actually, the other one for a long shot is Jordan De Goey as well. I just want to quickly shout him out because he's lost a lot of value. He was sitting around $2.30 a couple of weeks ago. Now he's $1.85. 2 goals from 11 shots at goal. So he's having a crack at the goals each and every week, and he's not converting. So we fully expect that to change soon. For disposals, well, we've brought your attention... his attention to you, it is John Noble. He had 19 touches last week and 18 the week before that. So he's just fallen short of the 20-plus touches mark, which is annoying. He had 23 and 24 before those. So if you can get him for 15-plus touches, nice number. He's hitting those, although he'll start to lose value. But can he get to that 20-plus touches threshold that we really, really like? We'll have to see. Outside of that, It has been fairly stark for the Pies because, you got like Nick Dacos, for example. His line has been sitting around 32.5, 30.5 for over-under, and he's been going under every single week. He's had 27.30, 26.30 as well. So you're not going to get good value on him for 20-plus touches. You also can't really bet over his line, and it's just too risky to go for 25 or 30 with him. So it's sort of like that across the board for Collingwood a lot. They sort of share the ball around. I was on Josh Dacos last week. I thought he'd been playing really well. He had only finished with 16 touches after 22, 30, 20, and 29 before that. So he's a bit hot and cold, but, maybe this is a spot where he might step up. We'll see. Next game we'll go to is in Sydney. It's going to be between the Swans and the Giants. It's the battle of the bridge, as Ed likes to say. Sydney's currently favoured minus 1.5 points, and the over-under, can anyone explain this to me? It's at 147.5. It's going to be raining in Sydney all week, I can see that, but it doesn't look like it's going to be such bad rain that it should impact the score that much. So that over-under is sitting, it's almost like they meant to type in 174 and no one's picked up on it. I'm not sure. 147.5, there you go. We'll start with the Giants. Giants for disposals. Now, you can get some really good value here with, sorry, not disposals. I want to start with anytime goal scorer because Toby Green is $1.20 to kick a goal, and he's coming off the miss last week from being suspended, and he's really, really good value there to kick a goal. He's had 9 goals from 27 shots at goal and 49 score involvements. Model's going crazy for him to kick a goal. He had 37 touches last week as well, so he was hugely, hugely involved. This is going to be a really, really tight contest, so it's going to be interesting to see which team prevails. I guess the reason that all of these prices have inflated, like Brent Daniels, for example, is $1.47, 8 goals, 16 shots at goal, so he's 50-50, and 41 score involvements, is because the over-under is that low. So heaps of value to be had in this game between two teams who are very, very good at kicking goals. As far as disposals go, Finn Callahan, 32 touches last week. Our guy who's been coming through. I mean, we're going to have to say goodbye to James Aish at this point, although he actually did have a good week last week as well. But Finn Callahan has been fantastic. 32 last week, 23 the week before that. He did let us down with 18, but then 21 before that as well. So playing really well. Lockie Whitfield still playing really, really well. 31 touches last week, 29 the week before that. Still like Harry Perryman as well, and Harry Himmelberg, the two Harrys, 23 and 27 respectively as well. Couple of good ideas there. We'll cross now to the Swans. Yeah, and I'm actually on Sydney for this game. I think this should be a really tight contest, but I like the value that you're getting with Sydney more. I'm on Isaac Heaney to kick a goal. He's had 12 goals from 16 shots a goal. That's a hell of a conversion rate, and he's $1.30 this week to kick a goal as well. So we really, really like that value. Other ones you can could also get Errol Goulden, $1.50 to kick a goal. He's 6 goals, 13 shots at goal. He just sort of plays that boundary 50 perimeter ball a bit more than I like to see. I'm not really into it too much. For touches, we're on Ollie Florent this week. We're going to jump off Justin McInerney, who's been our guy almost every week this year, but Ollie Florent been playing really well in defense, 28 touches last week, 25 the week before that. So he's going over his mark that we'd like to see. McInerney's the other one we like to go to, though. He had 19 touches last week. It was his first letdown of the season so far. Every other week he's had at least 20 touches, so that was a bit of a bummer. And you can go with Isaac Heaney as well for goal scorers and touches. 21 touches last week. 28 the week before that, 28. He's been an absolute gun. I think he's actually moved into favourite to win the Brownlow as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that's awesome to see. And just another idea out there as well, Nick Blakey at 30 touches last week, 21 the week before that. If you've got some good value there, I wouldn't mind it. Next game we're going to cross to is between the Saints and North Melbourne, who are just absolutely in shambles at the moment. Saints are favoured 36.5. And the over-under is 174.5, which is a lot for the Saints because they usually play in lower tier scoring games. We'll start with anytime goal scorers for the Saints. And obviously, we're really only going to look the Saints' way. Well, we think that this is a good matchup for Mitch Owens, who doesn't always convert on his scoring shots. He's had 7 goals, 16 shots a goal, and 42 score involvements. But at $1.35 in a fairly straightforward matchup. I think Mitch Owens is going to come through in a big way. He was missing some absolute shockers early in the season, so hopefully he can return to form there. The other one, $1.20, is Tim Membry, and he's 12 goals, 20 shots a goal, and 32 score involvements, and he's usually really, really good value. He's usually quite precise at kicking the goals, so I wouldn't mind that at all. For disposals for the St Kilda Saints, now they've got a lot of really fantastic options here. Marcus Windhager is leading the charge. He's having 3 disposals more than what his expected line is of 20.5 each week. 21, 29, and 21 as well. He's really only gone under that 1 week in round 3. So outside of that, Marcus Windhager, really, really good. But how much is the ball going to be played in defense? He is a defensive player, and it requires North Melbourne to actually bother getting inside 50s, but we'll see. Brad Hill, he had a really down week last week. 14 touches after 31, 33, 27. I mean, he's getting on now, so maybe it might even be worth Saints resting him in this game as well. But we are on Riley Bonner this week at 22 touches last week, 22 the week before that, 20, 24, and 32. He's been playing really great football. He's been playing in the midfield as well, exactly where we want him to be. So that will do us for the Saints. I mean, there's still, you can keep going down the list. They're all pretty safe bets, like Jack Steele, Rowan Marshall, Darcy Wilson even. Nasai Wanganeen Malira, who's been having a fantastic season as well. None of them would hurt too much. For North Melbourne, there is not a lot. If you had to bet on anyone at $1.65, you can get Paul Curtis still. He is always the best value. In my opinion, he's the best value in the entire league. $1.65 for someone who's had 12 goals and 24 shots a goal. I can see that he's 50-50, but from 36 score involvements, he does usually come through. Like, he's usually good for at least 1 goal every game. So that's where I like my money. Zach Fisher as well. He hasn't kicked a goal yet, but he's had 2 shots a goal. So if he can get somewhere nearby, that might be good as well. Oh, the other one, just quickly, Zane Dersma, $1.75. He's had 5 goals and 11 shots at goal as well. So if you want Zane Dersma, who's also stepped up and could be quite good. As far as touches go for North Melbourne, Harry Sheezel, we know he is the god of touches. He's leading the charge in the league at the moment, which is weird to say. Luke Davies-Uniacke has returned to form last week as well, 29 touches last week. Charlie Comben, who started really well, has kind of trailed off a little bit, which is a bit of a bummer. I'm trying to find Tom Powell, just the 10 touches last week. That was an absolute bummer. And same with Bailey Scott, just the 12 touches. And this is, I guess, what the general sentiment of North Melbourne is at the moment is they sort of start in these games. They start competitive through the first 10 minutes, through the first quarter, and then they just disappear for the entire game. So almost not worth betting, but could be a few good options for disposals in this game. I wouldn't mind just focusing solely on touches. All right, we've got the big game for Saturday night. It's going to be between the D's and the Cats. It is a Geelong. Oh, no, it's a D's home game, but we're back at the MCG again, where Geelong also has been playing really, really well this season. The Cats are favourite, 2.5 points at the moment, so it should be a tight game. And your over-under is 165.5. And one thing I just want to draw your attention to at the moment is Geelong's ability to cover the spread. They have covered every single week except for round 1 against the Saints. So other than that, it's been plus 16, minus 20, plus minus 1, minus 55, plus 12, minus 2.5. They've covered all of them. So they've been the most consistent team. I guess most books have not expected them to be playing as well as they have been. They're on top of the ladder at the moment. And they're over-under charge, 165. So basically all of, 6 weeks. So 5 of the last 6 weeks, they've all gone over their over-under total as well. But the last 3 weeks that the D's have played, they've all gone under. So going to be interesting. I actually kind of expect this to be maybe an overs game. I know that the Blues did get over 100 points last week, so that should be interesting to see. We'll start here with the Cats. And best value for my mind, Brian Myers, you can get at $1.90, 7 goals, 11 shots at goal. So even though the shots at goal are down a little bit, he has had 51 score involvements. So really getting up there. And he usually converts what he does score. So at $1.90, that's really nice value. If you need someone else, Tyson Stengel is still pretty good value at $1.25. He's 12 goals from 20 shots at goal, so a bit better conversion rate. as well than we're used to seeing from the 50-50 boys. And you know what is kind of crazy is Tom Hawkins is like $1.10 or $1.08, something horrific like that. He's $1.15. I mean, he has not scored a goal in weeks. And I think there was even a report that they're starting to use him as a bit of a decoy now. So how the books can get away with $1.15 for Tom Hawkins is beyond me. But that should boost the scores of the values of players around him. Now, Cam Guthrie came back last week and he got 27 touches straight off the bat. So awesome game for Cam Guthrie. It was great to have him back in the lineup. Mitch Duncan had 24 and Brian Myers had 22 touches last week as well. So I think you can still get really good value on Cam Guthrie for 20 plus touches. I think this is the last week you'll ever get a decent value as well. So that's where I'm putting my money. But Brian Myers is the other way I'd go as well, particularly with Patrick Dangerfield. He's out again, hamstring. I think he's slated to miss something like 6 to 8 weeks this time around as well. So that usually bodes really well for Max Holmes. And watch out for Brandon Parfitt as well. He's always the beneficiary of when Dangerfield is out. He's still been in the lineup the last 2 weeks, 17 touches and 17 touches. But the weeks before that, when Dangerfield was out, 20, 21, 19, and 20. So you can get really good value on Brandon Parfitt for touches as well. And of course, when I say touches, I mean disposals, of course. So for the D side of the ball, anytime goal scorer, I'm looking at Cozzy Pickett. He is usually quite good value to get a goal, and he's usually quite a sure thing to get a goal as well. Where are you, Cozzy? There you are, $1.30, 10 goals, 15 shots a goal, 25 score involvements. He has missed a couple of games as well this year. And he had 20 touches of the ball as well last week. So I would not really look any other way. Alex Neil-Bullen is $1.70, but he's been quite hit or miss, despite he has had 5 goals from 9 shots at goal. Max Gawn for disposals has been playing really, really well. 23 touches last week, 23 the week before that, then 15 and 20. So I think the 15 plus touches line is gone, but you could get him for 20. He's still pretty safe. And Stephen May, still really, really safe. We were on Stephen May last week, 23 touches. Oh, and where is he? Clayton Oliver. His line was like 28 and a half disposals last week, and he was nowhere near that. And I was saying he's coming off like hand surgery or something like that. That he had over the bye week. So he finished with 22 touches. So that was a really nice, safe under bet as well. But this should be a great game. I'm excited for this one. I think a couple of my mates are going to be at this game as well. So let's go Cats. All right, we'll head over now to Perth as well, where the West Coast Eagles are going to play the Bombers on the same night as well. The Bombers are favourite 11.5 and the over-under is 169.5. And I fully expect that one to go over as well because I know the Bombers like to play in shootouts where their defense not so great, but their offense is very, very good. As far as lines for the Eagles go, for anytime goal scorers, I'll start with, of course, Jamie Cripps. He's always a decent shot at goal. I think he's one of the few players who's kicked a goal in every single game this year. So the $1.33, you can't really go wrong with that. 10 goals, 22 shots a goal, playing really well up forward. If you were trying to still get in on Jake Waterman, you're going to have to get in for multiple goals now because we've definitely missed the boat for that one. And then Harley Reid should be back as well, so this should be a bit more of a competitive game. So as far as disposals go, I know it was weird last week with Harley Reid out. Elliot Yeo did not hit his 20-plus touches mark. Liam Duggan has been one of the best performers, though. If you have to bet anything for the West Coast Eagles, the Best Coast Eagles, I'm on Liam Duggan. He's playing great football at the moment. 26 touches last week. His over-under sits at around 22.5. I almost don't mind betting the over there, especially if you can get it down to 21 or 20, because he's had 22 before that, 22 before that, and then 30 before that. He's gone over. He's had at least 20 touches in every week so far this year. Maybe even Harley Reid. If you can get some good value on Harley Reid to have 20-plus touches. He's only hit that once this season, but last week that he played, he finished on 19, 27, and then 18 the week before that. So he's more involved in the ball now. He's rested. They do lean on him a lot. So I'd almost be looking Harley Reid's way, maybe just for like a one-off sort of single. if you can get good value there. As far as the Bombers go, well, I'm probably going to be on them, I'd say, for most of this, although this does kind of strike me as a little bit of a letdown spot for the Bombers, but we'll see how they go. I'm on Jade Gresham. He's at $1.30 to kick a goal for anytime goal scorer. He's had 9 goals from 16 shots at goal, so fairly good conversion there, and 43 score involvements as well. Can't go too wrong with that. Yeah, low-key, I've never really rated him, but Harrison Jones, I'm just wrong about him. $1.25 to kick a goal, 8 goals, 14 shots at goal. That's a hell of a score conversion. He missed the first couple of games for the season, but 28 shots at goal there as well. So I've just got to come around on him. And you can usually get him to kick at least like 2+ goals as well in a game. So he's usually good for multiple goals as well. For disposals, we're going to go back to Dyson Heppell on this one because he had 27 touches last week. He was very quiet the weeks before that, but he started the season out firing. And I think that this is going to be a fairly competitive game. I think this is a great matchup for Dyson Heppell as well. These are usually the games that he plays really well in and takes good advantage of. Nick Martin returned to form, 30 touches last week as well. And then the other one, Zach Merritt, well, he can do no wrong. If you can get him for 25+ touches, that's usually a safe bet. Model likes Mason Redman, and I'm struggling with this one a little bit because I don't think he's going to be very good value at 15+ touches. And then 20+ touches, I guess, would be good value, but it's not a great hit rate. He did have 16 last week, but then 21 and 21 before that. So hard to say. But yeah, Dyson Heppell, I think we can go back to the well with him. I think he's a fairly safe bet for this one. We'll cross now back to Melbourne, where the Perth team is going to be playing in Melbourne. It's Freo and the Tigers at the MCG. The over-under for this one is sitting around 162.5, and Freo's only 12.5 point favourites, despite how bad Richmond has been. And I think that Richmond might be taking the rest of the year off, or at least they should with the amount of injuries they've got. Having said that, though, Dustin Martin is $1.30 to kick a goal for the Tigers, and he loves the MCG, and he's 4 goals on the season, 9 shots a goal, and 32 score involvements. So Freo play a really, really tough defense, or at least they have before they got matched up against the Eagles a couple of weeks ago. But they've kind of returned to form last week as well. It was a really good bounce back for Freo. So that's where I'm going to be mainly looking. But if I had to bet on the Tigers, Dustin Martin to kick a goal at $1.30, we really like that. And some disposals for the Tigers as well. Liam Baker still playing really, really well. That's the only person I'm going to be looking at, though. I understand Daniel Rioli has also been fairly good. He's just, in the last 5 weeks, he's had 20+ touches, except for that one game 2 weeks ago where he had 19. So he is safe as well, but I prefer to go with Liam Baker if I had to go with anyone. But having said that, I'm going to be all over Freo for this game. So with that said, I am on Bailey Banfield to kick a goal. He's had 9 goals, 19 shots a goal, and 36 score involvement. So accuracy has not always been there. Sometimes he's just completely missed the goals altogether. But at $1.40, I think this is a good matchup against the Tigers as well. And he had 22 touches last week, which was really good value. The thing about Freo is the only other player you can really get any decent value on is Michael Walters. And it's like good. It's around $1.20 or something like that. It's not as good value, and I don't think it's as sure of a thing. So that's where I'm looking for that one. And then mainly when we talk about Freo, we look at the disposals market because there's value to be had everywhere. James Aish returned to form last week, 28 touches. Bailey Banfield, I just mentioned him, 22 touches last week. Hayden Young, 20+ touches every single week. This backline has been insane for Freo. Jordan Clark as well, 20+ touches every single week as well. And if you're feeling frisky for 15+ touches, Jeremy Sharp is there. Andrew Brayshaw has returned to form as well. But the 2 players that I'm on, I'm going back to James Aish. I think he's back now. He's really, really good value compared to someone like Jordan Clark, much lesser value for probably a similar output, and Bailey Banfield, anytime goal scorer there. The next game will be between the Hawks and the Bulldogs on Sunday afternoon. The Bulldogs are favourite 24.5, and the over-under sitting around 171.5, so probably right where we expect it. I'm going to start with the Hawks, although there's not too much to take away from them. As far as value for goal scorers go, Jack Ginnivan is sitting around $1.20 to $1.30. He's had 8 goals and 21 shots at goal. And then as far as disposals for the Hawks go, Jack Scrimshaw has been the only one to sort of really consistently get the 20-plus touches mark, but I don't really love it. You know, I actually don't mind Dylan Moore as well. Even to kick a goal, Dylan Moore, 20 and 25 touches last week. $1.50 to kick a goal. He's had 12 goals from 17 shots at goal. So if you had to go any direction with the Hawks, I'd probably be looking at Dylan Moore, who has stepped up a little bit in the last couple of weeks. But having said that, I'm mostly on the Bulldogs for this game. I think that this is going to be a great game for them, a great matchup, and I just don't really see it. I don't believe the Hawks have got a lot in them, as other people seem to think that they're quite competitive or something like that. If you look at the spreads from the sports books over the last couple of weeks from the Hawks, like they were only plus 18.5 against the Swans last week, and I saw that as a huge spot for the Swans. They've basically not covered most weeks this year, so if you could find value betting against the Hawks, it seems to be paying off pretty well. I'm not sure why the expectation is there. Goal scorers for the Bulldogs. I'm looking at Marcus Bontempelli, who's $1.55 to kick a goal, 10 goals, 17 shots at goal. And the Bulldogs do have a few injuries up there as well. So I think that this should be a decent spot for where Bont can really step up. I think, didn't I see like Riley West might be out with suspension or something like that as well. So should be good for him there. Now, okay, hear me out on this one. Taylor Duray, 15 plus touches is awesome value, but he doesn't always get it. So he had 14 touches last week, so he just fell one disposal short. Before that, round 6, 22 touches, 25 before that, and then 14 again before that, and then 19 to start the season as well. So when he falls short, it's only by one touch. So we like him to just get over just that little bit, and it's only 15 plus touches. So that's the way we're looking. Because the thing about the Dogs is you could bet on Adam Treloar, you can bet on Bailey Dale, but they require a high touch disposal total, and it's not really great value. With Riley West out as well, it's not going to be very helpful. And then if you look anywhere else on the board, not too many players get the ball too much outside of like Bont or Libba. Libba hasn't been playing the last couple of weeks though. Jack McRae's not been playing to his standards as well. So it's all over the place for the Dogs. This is why I'm on Taylor Duray. Let's see how this goes. This could come back in my face, blow up in my face completely. Okay, let's finish up in Queensland, in Brisbane, with the Q clash. It is the Brisbane Lions taking on the Gold Coast Suns. This is the Sunday night game, Sunday twilight game. Wow. Brisbane is favored, minus 12.5, and the over-under is 165.5. And I've got to imagine that's because the sentiment that the Gold Coast, they don't play well on the road, and Brisbane are at home. But Gold Coast are the much better team at the moment. They're the much deeper team at the moment as well. And when we say that they're playing on the road, how much are they really actually playing on the road here? They're just traveling down the highway a little bit. So I'm all over the Gold Coast, plus 12.5 in this spot. I saw a stat that Brisbane Lions have only kicked 4 more goals than North Melbourne for the season. They are just not playing to expectation at all. So having said that, though, we are on the Brisbane Lions for anytime goal scorer. This is going to be a bit of a sweat. But Lincoln McCarthy, he's been so good for us all season. $1.40 to kick a goal. He's had 8 goals from 19 shots a goal and 43 score involvement. So he is getting involved. He didn't get much of the ball last week, even though he did kick a goal. Why is kick a goal so hard to say? 9 disposals last week, though, was all there was. Hard thing, again, with the Lions, the goals funnel through Hipwood, through Danaher, through Charlie Cameron. So there's not a lot of value on those guys, and I don't like them for multiple goal scorers, especially when last week Joe Danaher and Eric Hipwood, who make about $2 million between them, came through with 0 goals. So that's not what we really like to see. 4 disposals for the Lions. Jared Berry, I was tempted to be on him this week because he's been playing really well. He's had at least 20 plus touches every single week, as well as his line's been sitting around 17.5. So he's been going over that, which is really great to see. Hugh McCluggage, 25 plus touches, or his over-under line of 24.5 has been really good as well. Dane Zorko was down last week. But I think that should come back to form as well. And Josh Dunkley, 20-plus touches, has still been playing really well, but he just doesn't really ever get the value there that we'd like to see. All right, let's just bring this home now. We'll finish up with the Gold Coast Suns, who are quote-unquote traveling on the road here. Anytime goal scorers, Model really likes Bailey Humphrey to kick a goal. He's had 3 goals, 11 shots at goal, 37 score involvements, and he plays forward. So there's really no reason for him to not kick a goal this week. Come on, buddy, you got to do it. The other one is Nick Holman at $1.70 to kick a goal. He has not touched the ball very much. He's sort of had around 7, 8, 9 disposals, 6 disposals. That is disgusting. But 4 goals, 14 shots a goal, and 27 score involvements. And we'll finish with disposals as well. Talked about Noah Anderson returned to form last week, 33 touches after a down week the week before that. He's usually good for 25-plus touches, or he'll completely flop, so that's good to see. And then Sam Flanders as well. He had like a down game for Sam Flanders, 22 touches last week, but it still gets over that 20-plus touch mark. Even 25, I'm completely fine with. If you can still get Sam Closey as well, 15-plus touches. He had 14 last week, but 16 before that, 18 before that, and 22 before that. So I can expect that to bounce back as well. That's going to do it for another week of the footy. If you're still tuning in, please like and subscribe. It's a free, fun, really easy way to help the channel grow, to help us keep doing this, bring you more content. If you're following us on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter as well, that's really helpful too. And leave a review on Apple and Spotify if you're listening, as well as also Sully is still doing the Stanley Cup playoffs. He's doing like a pick a day. It's been going really well, and we're about to move into the series, the second series of the playoffs for that one as well. We're going to be back soon with an NFL draft recap as well, and we're going to be doing team-by-team breakdown from a betting perspective for the offseason for the NFL as well. But until then, enjoy the footy. Hope your team wins. Hope the other team loses. We'll catch you soon. Goodbye.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.